just when we thought it was full steam ahead on springtime, Minnesota's weather might be throwing us a few curveballs this week.
Yeah, we're kind of used to that, but it's never too early to actually start thinking about your summer veggie garden. Dale Kay shows his easy steps to get the process started indoors.
G'day everyone. Are you having fun doing a little bit of seed shopping? March is the perfect time to start seeding, and there's some definite advantages to starting your own veggie garden from seed. Firstly, it's as cheap as chips really, because seed packets of course are only a few dollars and you get a lot of bang for your buck that way. It's also a great pastime as well. Very, very fun for the kids. Really actually fun for all ages to start your own garden from scratch. And of course, growing your own, you know exactly what you're buying and exactly how you grew it. And of course, taste is always better when it comes out of your garden. So here's what you need to get started growing your own seeds from home. Of course, the seeds themselves, but here's the trick. Make sure you do your research and read the back of the labels, because some of these seeds, like these peas, lettuce, I was picking out some cucumbers earlier, those are all relatively quick growing, and actually these two can be directly seeded into your garden. No need to start them early. Same with sunflowers. You can just almost throw those on concrete and they'll germinate. So leave all the quick growing stuff till later. What you want to start now in March are some of those flowers that take a lot longer time to bloom or to start growing, and then also the plants like tomatoes and peppers that also take a little bit longer as well. So do your research, read the back of the label, days to harvest, all those sorts of things that will tell you a lot about how to grow and when to start your seeds. From there, you need some sort of a vessel to seed in. I've got a couple of different options here. This is a cell tray. The seeding soil goes right in here, or there's these little Jiffy pellets right here. They're like a little disc. I'll show you. Just like almost like a little coin, and basically once this is moistened, there's peat moss in here, once they're moistened they kind of swell up just like this, and then your seeds will go directly in here, and of course they sprout right out of this little cell. So either way, both work just fine. If you're using the cells, make sure you use a seed starting soil that's specially labeled for seed starting. It'll be a lot finer. There won't be any chunks in there, and then that way the seeds will lay nice and flat on top. From there, you just pre-moisten your soil. That's key, and you don't want to have your bedding too wet at all or too moist. That will create some disease problems later down the road. So there's my seeding mix. I've got my cells. The next thing you'll need is some plant labels, and firstly I'll just use those just to make sure everything's nice and even. And then of course you want to make sure that you label all your baby plants, because that way once all these start growing, if you're doing a lot of peppers or a lot of tomatoes, it can get kind of confusing which is which. So don't, you almost kind of lay it out as an assembly line. Make sure I got my label in there, because if you've got a lot of, if you're doing different varieties of peppers or tomatoes, it can get very confusing about which variety is which. So this matches this. This is what we're going to start to seed with. And oh, look at that, there's the little seeds. If you've got really, really small seeds like begonias, sometimes I like a little dial seeder like this. Actually works quite nicely, but I'm just going to put two seeds, that will be 2 plants per cell. And I can even thin those out once they get a little bit bigger. So I'm going to keep this nice and moistened. I'm going to use my heating pad, because what germinates plants, of course, is warm soil temperature and moisture. And then once they start to sprout and get their own leaves, then we'll make sure they're in good lighting, and we'll keep the heat going on them and hopefully not have them stretch too far. So there's the basics of seeding. Have fun starting your garden from seed at your home. Back to you.
Inside is still key right now. Thank you, Dale.
Just telling me